short story, Car Bomb. The first warning came as a note slipped under Daniel Carter's front door. "Leave the city, or the next drive will be your last." At first, he dismissed it. Then a mechanic found explosives hidden beneath his family's SUV. The police couldn't promise constant protection, so Daniel hired the only man people whispered about in desperate times, a sellswordsman named Rowan. Rowan wasn't a soldier anymore. He was a survivor who trained, practiced, sold his skills to those with nowhere else to turn. For 3 days he surveyed, watched every street, every parked car, every unfamiliar face. On the 4th morning, he spotted a van lingering across from the Carter home. Instead of waiting, Rowan forced the driver out and discovered enough explosives to erase half the block. The bomb was disarmed minutes before Daniel's wife and children would have climbed into their vehicle. When the attackers realized their plan had failed, they disappeared into the night. Daniel asked Rowan how he had known. Rowan simply looked at the smoking fuse lying on the pavement. "Destruction always leaves footprints," he said. "You just have to find them before they find you." The Carter family drove away alive, while Rowan vanished just as quietly as he had arrived, already heading toward the next family, who needed someone willing to stand between them and disaster. On Daniel's birthday, his friend Jake arrived empty-handed. "I forgot your gift," Jake admitted. Daniel's face twisted with anger. In a burst of rage, he stormed into a nearby store, smashing, punching, pushing, breaking displays and trying to steal a wrapped present. Shoppers fled as chaos spread through the aisles. Within minutes, a police officer confronted him outside. After refusing repeated commands to stop, Daniel was safely restrained and arrested. The stolen gift was recovered. No one was seriously hurt, and Daniel later faced charges for the damage and theft. Jake visited him afterward and quietly said, "I should have remembered your birthday, but this never had to happen." Daniel lowered his head, finally realizing that no forgotten gift was worth destroying lives over. The Carter family had always dreamed of owning a horse. When they finally brought home a gentle bay mare named Daisy, everyone promised to help. Mom would buy feed, Dad would repair the fence, and the kids swore they'd take turns grooming, walking, running, jumping, and exercising her. For a few weeks, they kept their promises. Then arguments over money, chores, and old resentments grew into daily fights. Each family member assumed someone else was caring for Daisy. The water trough went unfilled, the hay ran low, and a broken gate was never repaired. By the time they realized how badly they had neglected her, Daisy was critically ill. A veterinarian tried to save her, but the damage from dehydration and malnutrition was too severe. She had to be humanely euthanized. The family never forgot that Daisy's death was not caused by a single act of cruelty, but by a chain of broken promises, chores, work, and neglected responsibilities. Her empty stall became a lasting reminder that caring for another life requires commitment, even when families fall apart. The Carters thought they had met the friendliest man on the coast. He introduced himself as Victor at the hotel buffet, complimented Mom's cooking when she mentioned homemade pies, taught the kids card tricks by the pool, and somehow always appeared wherever they went. Daniel hated him immediately. "Doesn't it seem weird he's everywhere?" Daniel muttered. "Oh, you're just grumpy," his wife laughed. "He's nice." Victor laughed at the kids' jokes, carried beach chairs, and charmed everyone except Daniel. Every time Daniel tried to get rid of him, Victor smiled wider. Then the news flashed across the lobby TV. "Police are searching for a serial murderer. Stabbing, shooting, stealing, choking, armed and dangerous. Believed to be traveling under the name Victor." The smiling man standing beside them froze. "So?" Daniel said, folding his arms. "Told you." Victor reached into his jacket. Before he could move, Daniel tackled him into a souvenir rack. Mom swung a beach umbrella like a baseball bat. Their teenage son dove onto Victor's back, while their daughter dumped an entire cooler of ice over his head. Even Grandma, who had been knitting quietly nearby, smacked him with her oversized handbag. Victor never got the chance to pull out anything. Hotel security rushed in moments later to find the entire Carters family sitting on top of the battered fugitive. An officer looked at the bruised, groaning murderer, then at Daniel. "You recognized him?" Daniel shrugged. "No, I just knew that guy was annoying." His wife sighed. "You are never letting us forget this, are you?" "Not a chance." When Daniel returned from the jungle war, he unpacked little besides silence, and one emerald green parrot that had followed him through months of rain, gunfire, and fear. The bird had become his companion, but it didn't belong in a cage or a quiet neighborhood. Daniel knew that keeping it would only trade one kind of captivity for another. So he gardened, fished, farmed, cultivated, hired a wildlife rehabilitation specialist to help. Together they searched for the best sanctuary, somewhere with other parrots, tall trees, and room to fly. On the day they opened the carrier, the parrot hesitated, looked back once, then burst into the sky with a flash of green. Daniel watched until it disappeared above the canopy. For the first time since coming home, he realized that letting go could be its own kind of healing.